Hey, everybody. It's a thankful Thursday, and I hope that, like me, you're thankful for another day. Yup. Every day above ground is a time to be thankful, eh? Thank you for joining me today. This is Charmaine Miller, your running partner on this journey of continual learning and personal growth. I am the founder and CEO of Proactive Skill Developers, where we inspire educators in particular to work harder on themselves than they do on their jobs. Sounds counterintuitive, huh? It's not. We realize if we can help them to become better at who they are, they'll definitely be better in the classroom and make a stronger impact for sure. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you've taken a look around and see that so many things that we are engaged in requires a process, huh? We tell the kids all the time, oh, it's a process to brush your teeth. Oh, it's a process to get ready for school. But do we take heart for ourselves that it's a process for us too? Do we realize that life in itself is a process and the things we go through require a process? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. In fact, I was preparing for this week's radio program, A Time for Education, which will be airing tomorrow actually on 1540 AM, as well as I think channel 955 on cable. And in preparing for that, we were talking about the writing process. And I started thinking about how it parallels with inspiration that we need for things we do in life, especially goal setting. Hey, Didi, so good to see you. Glad you joined me here today. Awesome. And, we talk about writing a lot because, I'm dealing with a lot of teachers and helping them how to be better with teaching writing. But I looked at it again in preparing and I said, boy, this whole idea of the writing process teaches us a lot about what we can do to achieve our goals and to keep on being inspired. And so that's what I want to share with you today. And there are 5 steps in the writing process. And so I looked at it and I said, you know what, can we get 5 principles from these things that can help us to stay inspired, especially with the fact that we're in our last leg of 2020. And a lot of folks have already written this year off. I'm not doing that. I'm going to ride it straight through to the end, and I'm going to push for whatever goals I have not achieved yet. I'm going to make it happen. Well, in looking at the writing process, for those who are familiar, the first thing we always do is we go into what we call pre-writing. Pre-writing phase, or that step in the process, is where we're simply trying to figure out, first of all, what it is we're going to write. What do we want to write about? How do we narrow our ideas down? My daughter was just working on a piece in her class today. Her teacher gave her a writing prompt, and she had to in turn take that prompt and decide how she's going to narrow it down and work on what she's going to write. Well, the first thing I looked at with pre-writing, I said, you know what? Pre-writing is when you're figuring out what you're going to write. In the same way, we're figuring out what we want to do. We have to make a decision. That's all I want to share with you with the pre-writing. It's simply a time when we are making a decision. We decide that we're going to go after accomplishing a particular thing. You decide that, hey, this might be October. This might seem like the year is almost out, but you know what? I'm going to go after it anyhow. You get mad, I call it. You get mad, and not mad in the literal sense in that you get angry, but MAD, make a decision. And hopefully that'll help you to remember it. When you get mad, you make a decision. You know what? I'm tired feeling like this. I'm tired going through this. I'm tired of having this weight on me. I'm tired of my hair looking like this. I'm tired of my face looking like. I'm going to make a decision. You will be surprised of the inspiration you feel just from simply making a decision. I tried it on myself because there's something I've been putting off for a few years, and I'm working on a particular course that I want to do digitally. And I spoke with a few of my colleagues and a business mentor of mine, and she simply said, "You know what? It's all on you. You have to make that decision." And it was like a light bulb. These are things I've been telling people all along, but finally it came back to me. Only me could make that decision. And so, you know what? I looked at myself and I say, self, and self said, yeah, I'm doing the Mr. Brown thing. Listen, self say, yeah, what you want? And I say, self, we're going to make it happen. We're going to go after. So I made a decision. So with the writing process, with pre-writing, when just how students are making a trying to figure out what they're going to write, the same way it parallels with making a decision. What is it we're going to do? Get mad, make a decision, all right? And you'll be surprised the inspiration you'll feel towards achieving your goal. The second thing I want to point out now, and I want to stay with pre-writing simply because in that phase of the writing process, there's so many things that we do with pre-writing. Yes, we decide what we're going to write, make a decision. But the second thing we do is we actually make a plan. My daughter, after she decided that she was going to write the story of how this monster, tried to attack her in the Powerpuff Girls, I'm like, okay, run with that. She had to go ahead and make a plan. Her teacher wanted her to figure out what the plot would be, figure out who's going to be the character, who the main characters are. And so she had to actually put it down in these little blocks. The same way, if you're serious about that decision you made, you have to make one, well, actually, I didn't say one, you have to make a plan, all right? Map. There, get a map. How many of you have actually gotten a map for what it is you say you want to do? I know of some persons, in my circle, they say, hey, listen, I'm going to, and I keep on looking at the weight because that's a lot of people have that as their goals. I'm gonna shed or release X amount of pounds. And they go ahead and they put a plan. They decide, hey, listen, you know what? I'm going to wake up 3 days of the week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to eat only this. I'm going to drink so much water and so on. You make a plan. Ooh, you won't believe the inspiration that surges up in you when you make a plan. Make a map. MAP. Map it out. Write it down. You all hear the word all the time. Write it down, make it plain so that you could what? Run with it? Yeah. You got to map it out. Okay. So when you MAD, make a decision, then MAP, make a plan. Put pen to paper or get your electronic device and write it out. It doesn't have to be all sophisticated. Something simple, simple enough that you could run with it. Sometimes we make it so sophisticated that we don't even feel encouraged to do it. Make it simple. I always tell everyone I'm speaking to in any training, KISS, KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie. You got to. The simpler it is, the better it is for you to work it through. All right? Better it is for you to work it through. Hey, Cousin Tevin, glad you joined me. Listen, so first thing you're going to do is make a decision, MAD. Then you're going to map it out, MAP, make a map. The third thing the writing process shows us is that they move from pre-writing and they dive into what we call drafting or writing. And Tevin's gonna know about this because Tevin's writing a book right now, and I can't wait to help them read through this with him. So he's gonna now move to the drafting. And guess what? That drafting simply means you're gonna make one move, then make another move, then make another move. That's all drafting is. We don't look at the whole big book and say, oh, I got to write this book, or the whole story and say, oh, I got to write this story. No, we just make one move. What is the next move you can make towards that goal? Just one. What's just one thing you can do that you can do right now, like right today, when you come off this live? What's the one move you can make? Listen, I don't know if you realize it, but that make one move spelled MOM, mom. And I smile when I realize that because when I think about my mom, listen, all she was doing was making moves. See, my sister's on here too, and Tanaka could tell you my mom was always making the next move. She was always moving. Always, and probably your mom the same way. If you're here, you know that they're always about the next thing you can do. If you want to be inspired to achieve your goal, make one move. Make just one. Just think of the one thing you can do. Notice I'm not being elaborate and say, oh, do this, do that. No, just what's the one next best step? See, in the writing process, when they're drafting, they're writing one sentence, and then they take one word and the next word, then they have a sentence. Then all of a sudden that sentence turns to two. Then there's a paragraph. Then there are two paragraphs. Next thing you know, there's a page, and you keep on doing. So find that one thing, put one foot in front of the other, and it has a way of sending waves of inspiration right to your brain, believe it or not. You may have started off with just a dream, but by taking the first step, you turn it into an achievable goal. That is inspiring. You got inspiration, first of all, by making a decision. Yeah, that inspired you. But that only lasts so long. Afterwards, guess what? You have to make a plan. And after you make a plan, then the third thing you want to do is make a move. Make one move. Look at your mom. I'm sure she's always making a move. Now, after you've done that, here's what I want you to think about. In the writing process, the fourth step, and the third and fourth step are normally revising and editing. I looked at that this week as I was preparing for my radio program, and I said, that's so interesting. When we're revising and editing, you know what we're doing? We are making progress. We are making progress, and at the same time, it's the next thing. It's the big one. You know, this is the one when we look at, and writers look at their work and they say, how can I make this better? They say, they look at how can we polish it. That's what revising and editing is all about. In fact, good writing is really revising. In the same way, if you want to be going after your goals, you got to constantly be revising. In fact, here's what I want you to remember. Since I've been giving you these acrostics to help you to remember what to do, I want you to look at I want you to make good progress, not just progress, but good progress. And to do that, I want you to think of R cube. You know, in math, how we used to do the number 5 to the power of 2 means 5 times, whatever. The thing is, or sometimes we have R squared, or 3 squared means 3 times 3 times 3. Well, I want you to think of R squared. Review. I want you to reflect. Then I want you to revamp. R squared, 3 R's. This is how we're going to make good progress, guys. See, you can't move ahead with your goal if you're just plummeting through and thinking that's going to happen. No, you got to slow down sometimes, and you got to look and see, okay, let's see. Let me review and see what all I've done so far. I've established a place to write. Okay, I'm waking up every morning at this time. I'm making sure I write a page each day. Excuse me. You review what it is you're doing. After you review what you're doing, then I want you to now reflect. Now, how is this serving me? Is this working right? Is this working well? When you reflect, you ask yourself some deeper level questions. All right. And then the final thing is revamp. Revamp means you might have to shift gears. Okay, when I sit here in this room, my daughter normally comes and she disturbs. I may have to find another place. When I'm going after my goal for losing this particular weight, someone comes and offer me a slice of guava duff. Okay, maybe I need to not call that friend. All right, whatever it is, you revamp. And sometimes you might have to shift gears. You might have to turn a different angle, go a different place, do something different. All right. That's what the revising and editing part of writing showed me towards my goals. It says, Sham, I look at myself and I say, Sham, think of it. If you're revising and editing for your writing piece, how could you help yourself with getting it ready towards your goal? How could this inspire you? And that's what I got. RQ, review, reflect, and revamp. And when you do that, you will find that you'll make the adjustments, make the tweaks, but guess what? You'll get back a step in, get right back on track, and keep on moving. Keep on moving to the beat of purpose. Keep on moving and watch the progress you will make. Now, the last step I want to share with you before we conclude in the writing process is publishing. After you've done all the mapping and the making a decision and making your move, and of course revising and editing your goals and where you're going, then you publish. Now we publish our writing. Now what does that equate to what you're going to do with your goals, and what kind of inspiration that gives? Well, here's what I want you to remember. Celebrate achieving your targets. Celebrate achieving your targets. Now, for those who didn't quite catch that, that's celebrate achieving your target. CAT, cat. Now remember to stroke your cat. You know, cats love attention, don't they? Oh, they want attention. They're lazy all over your lap, and they will. In the same way, when you celebrate your goals, give it some attention. Make a big deal of it. You know what? I have to be the first to confess. I'm guilty of not celebrating the achievements. I just kind of go on to the next one. I said, okay, that's done. Let's go to the next one. Not anymore. I realize how valuable it is for us to get to the point where we celebrate. You have to celebrate. Achieving is an incredible source of inspiration. It's exhilarating to have a polished piece of writing that others can appreciate. And guess what? It's also exhilarating to achieve that goal you've been putting behind all the other things for so long. Now you have it done. Celebrate it. And mind you, the celebration doesn't have a big fanfare, something huge. It could be something simple. I have a colleague of mine, mentor, business mentor, who just finished hitting a very huge goal that she was doing, I think, for almost 3 months. And the first thing she did, she said, you know what? I'm going to celebrate with a slice of cheesecake. Now, that may seem insignificant, but when you have been 3 months without sweets and you actually survived and was able to release the weight you wanted, listen, that celebration of a cheesecake is huge. So, Kat, celebrate achieving your target and you'll be surprised of how much that gives you inspiration. But you know what? I realize what you achieve is good and it should be celebrated. But what you have to become in the process of achieving that goal, it's even better. And that's the part you need to be celebrating, not just achieving the goal, but what you became in the process of achieving the goal. See, I have a big goal I want to accomplish before December 31st. It's huge. It's going to call for me to stretch myself, come out of my comfort zone. So, guess what? I know I have to grow. I know I have to move. So, just to recap, how does the writing process give us inspiration to achieve our goals? Well, the first thing, the pre writing phase, tells us that we need to make a decision. Get mad. MAD. The third thing the pre writing tells us is that we need to make a plan. MAP. Map it out. The third thing the drafting phase tells us is that we need to make one move. Think of your mom who's always making a move, always busy. MOM, make one move, the next best move. Fourth thing, revising and editing tells us that we need to review, reflect, and revamp. R squared. Always remember those three things. And once you do that, it'll give you that oomph you need to move to the next thing, the next phase. And finally, the publishing phase says after you've achieved your goals, celebrate achieving your targets. CAT. And there you go. So, to all of you tuning in, I challenge you to look to the writing process for inspiration to go after your goals, even before this year is out. Remember that it's a process. So be patient with the process and keep moving through the process. In the end, you won't just be happy with what you've achieved. Guess what? You'll be happy with who you've become. As a thank you for spending time here with me today, I want to invite you to grab a copy of my newest free resource. Yes, I said free resource to help you motivate and move young writers along. So go ahead and visit charmainmiller.com/poetry to paragraph to grab your copy. Don't forget. And for those persons who are listening in on the radio tomorrow on 1540 a.m., I will be hopefully rocking and helping some students, parents, and teachers learn about the writing process in a very exhilarating program. We have some special guests on as well. It's going to be live, it's going to be happening. That's 1540, and it's also going to be on the cable network, on the cable channel 955 from 3 to 4 tomorrow. That's Friday. I hope you can join us and tune in. Until next time, I want you to keep learning and growing because what we learn becomes a part of who we are. And like Einstein said, once we stop learning, we start dying. So never stop learning because life, as you know, never stops teaching. Until next time, to your success. Bye now.